Greetings and welcome inside a brand new edition of Serving the Valley, a chance for you to get an up-close look at many service organizations and events that are going on right here in Cedar Falls, Waterloo, and our surrounding community. I'm your host, Eric Braley, and today we talk about the Beyond Pink team and our two guests here, Dee Hughes and Christine Carpenter. Thank you for joining me. And before we talk about the organization, I always like to find out why you have decided to be part of this organization. And why don't you start? Why are you a part of the Beyond Pink team, a team that's doing so much for our community?
Well, I was diagnosed at 45 in 1993, and so it was a shock to get a breast cancer diagnosis when I'd always eaten right and lived a healthy life.
Yeah.
And so after that, I decided that after I was through with treatment, I decided that I wanted to actually do something to end the disease. Mm-hmm. And so I joined the National Breast Cancer Coalition and the Beyond Pink team about the same time. And ever since then, I've been working to end this disease.
And it's not only you, there's many other people in the area that I'm assuming support each other and work hard for this cause.
Yes.
So, how long have you been involved? And from my understanding, you've been around since about when it started, in the late 80s, was it?
Late 80s. The organization was started in 1988, and I joined the group in 1989. I joined as a lead mammography technologist at Allen Hospital, and that was one of my roles, was to join the Beyond Pink team, and it just became a passion for me.
Great.
And so I've stuck with it all this time.
A lot has changed since the late 80s, and I'm sure this organization has as well. And let's learn about it. Why don't you start just by talking about what it is, if someone were just curious what you do and how they might be able to get involved.
Well, there's a lot of parts to it, but we're basically a local nonprofit. We're not part of a national organization as far as for our Beyond Pink team. We're all volunteers. We don't have an office. We don't have a paid staff. So we just all have a common goal of wanting to make things better for women and men living with breast cancer and other cancers too, but specifically breast cancer.
Yeah, so when you're talking about like events and things that go on, that's a lot of planning, and there's a lot of committees that need to be part. Maybe talk about some of the different committees that go into planning these events so that the outreach is really there within our Cedar Valley community.
Well, I'm especially involved in the advocacy arm of the Beyond Pink team. We are working to, we actually are a member organization of the National Breast Cancer Coalition, which is a coalition of a lot of grassroots women's health organizations, breast cancer organizations, that sort of thing. And the sole mission of the National Breast Cancer Coalition is to end the disease. Sure. And so I work mostly with the advocacy arm. We do a lot of things. We go to Washington, D.C. and go to a leadership summit once a year, and we talk to all of Iowa's congressional delegations, our senators and representatives. And because of our work, most of the Iowa senators and representatives are on board with the priorities of the National Breast Cancer Coalition. So that's my main role, although there are lots of other parts of the Beyond Pink team. And do you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah, Christina, you saw the advocate. That is just so important to get your voice heard by those legislatures. But what are some of the other areas?
I'll just start out by saying why we call ourselves the Beyond Pink team. Yeah. And we like it to reflect that we want to go beyond pink ribbons and pink trinkets to actually take action, educate, advocate, and make a difference. Great. And so one way we've is take action is we saw a need. Anytime we see a need, we take action and make it take care of it as best we can. And one of those things was we saw that women needed financial assistance. And so we started the Beyond Pink Fund at the Northeast Iowa Community Foundation back in 2006. And since then we've helped, last year I think we helped 79 different people with grants. And
totaling
$63,000 we gave out. Yep. So to me, that makes that is taking action and making a difference in our community. And as far as education, we do a free quarterly newsletter that we write and print and distribute free of charge. We have 3 support groups. There's a traditional Touch of Courage monthly breast cancer support group. Then we do a quarterly young cancer survivors that's for any young woman with any type of cancer, and young at heart. We don't limit it to just young age. And we call it a meet, mingle, and learn. So they have a meal, visit with each other, then we have table discussions and a speaker. And then we do a similar format quarterly for Splash of Color, which is targeted the women of color. A very similar program.
So it sounds like you're hitting all these different types of audiences, and it's not just we're going to focus in the summer months on getting this done,
Right.
and that's
All
very
year.
important. 300,000 women in the United States diagnosed each and every year, and that is just staggering numbers there. And you can see more facts on screen. 1 in 8 women in the United States, 1 in 7 women in Iowa, and it's just an organization. You can see your website there. That needs more attention, that needs more awareness, and quite honestly needs more funding as well. Talk about how, and Christine, maybe you could talk about just every year this organization trying to think of new ways to continue to spread the word, get the word out, to grow your team, to make a difference.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the whole Cedar Valley for being so supportive of our all-volunteer group, because they certainly have jumped up and stepped up and offer their services and their their fundraising activities. They often give us their funds, and we really, really appreciate that. So as we get the word out more about the Beyond Pink team and all of the good that we're doing, more and more people are joining our team. We go to have many events like the hockey games. We folks wear the team wears pink jerseys, and the
There's one there on your
donations
screen.
are given to the Beyond Pink team. We have the Pretty in Pink horse show, and those donations are given from that. There's even Fishing for a Cure, and there are school volleyball teams who have fundraisers for us. And we are so pleased with how well the Cedar Valley has supported the Beyond Pink team. And because we're an all-volunteer organization with really no overhead costs, every single penny goes towards helping women and men in the Cedar Valley and their families, and it goes towards advocating to end the disease.
And the M, make a difference. Only nonprofit supplying services to women living with breast cancer. Tons of events, tons of ways to get involved, and all proceeds go to benefit the Beyond Pink team. As you can see their website there, a lot of information. Dee, tell me more about the Beyond Pink Fund. I know established in 2006 with the Community Foundation. Why
we started with a $1,000 donation, and then it's really amazing that we can help give out $63,000 in grants in a year. So we've started from very little. Probably our largest donor for our funding is the Pink Ribbon Run downtown Cedar Falls each fall, and getting that was really a windfall, because we did not start that run. Downtown Cedar, Community Main Street did, and they were looking for a local group rather than send it to a national organization. And luckily, Pam Dowie was on the committee, and she knew about us, helped us get the young cancer survivors started. And so she said, why don't we look at the Beyond Pink team? And so that's one, we wanted it to be very visible, to have the fund at the Community Foundation, so all that money could go directly into that fund, so that they know we're being very transparent, very responsible with everybody's donations.
Well, those pictures really speak 1,000 words as far as the amount of involvement, and it is a fun event.
Oh, it's great. Yes, we really appreciate it. And we don't limit what we will help anyone with. Our main focus is probably medical expenses, but when you're in treatment, a lot of women are single mothers, and they may need living expenses, help with food, transportation if they live out of town. So we don't limit it to just Blackhawk County.
Sure.
It's all surrounding counties, and we reach out, into Northeast Iowa. And donations come in from all over the area too. The Fishing for a Cure takes place in Wisconsin. They have Waterloo roots, and so they send it back here, and they know people that we can help. And so it's really a very bunch of team effort.
Well, you have a good team now, but you're always looking at growing your team, whether someone might have an idea or just looking for volunteer opportunities. What would you say is one of the things that you find rewarding being a part of this team and continuing to fight for a great cause?
When you have an exciting idea and you're doing really good work, people want to join. And so I would say that the excitement and the passion of the people who are involved really invites others to join. If you'd like to join the Beyond Pink team, you're always welcome at our meetings, which are 7 a.m. on Thursday. What is it? The third Thursday of every month. We meet at Allen Hospital in their meeting rooms. But if 7 a.m. meetings is not your cup of tea, you can always contact through our website. Contact our advocacy, or our development and our and volunteer director, Marty Mulnix.
Okay.
And she will get you connected with events we're having. We need a lot of volunteers for the Pink Ribbon Run and to staff all of these events. You can be at the table and help pass out literature, or you can start your own fundraiser, be a volunteer at other fundraisers. There are a lot of places for you to join. Of course, we're always looking for more advocates that are willing to email their congressman and make sure that the research is being done so that we can end the disease.
Very, very important to advocate. Well, Christine, that's very good reasons. Dee, anything to add on why people should join your team, support an event that has already been there, or come up with a new and creative idea to help raise funds and advocate?
Well, I think our team is great for both survivors and just anyone who wants to help other women, because they are so appreciative that somebody is doing this for them locally, and it's very rewarding. So even though I personally haven't had been diagnosed with breast cancer, I still like to be involved in the support groups and the newsletters and all of that, because it's just very rewarding.
And being a member organization of the National Breast Cancer Coalition, when you look at everyone knows someone who has been impacted by this disease, but why is it important to be under kind of that umbrella of the National Breast Cancer Coalition?
Well, if we don't work to end the disease, we'll have to just keep raising money forever, and we'd like to quit raising money.
Sure.
And so the National Breast Cancer Coalition is, as I said, it was a coalition of a lot of different health organizations with one goal in mind, and that's to end the disease. And so they have many aspects. They have a legislative agenda. They also have a project developing a vaccine. They're working on a vaccine to end breast cancer. And also prevention of metastasis or the spread, which is what kills people. And they've set a deadline, Breast Cancer Deadline 2020, to know how to end breast cancer by January 1, 2020.
Great.
We're trying to have some urgency to this conversation.
Well, Dee, Christine, I know you've been part of this Beyond Pink team for many years, and we appreciate all that you do. It is definitely something that is very important and needed, and I can't wait for, hopefully they beat before 2020 and beat that deadline. But thank you so much for all that you do and for sharing your stories and for sharing why people should get involved. And that will do it for this. We'll be back with more. And thank you so much for watching Beyond Pink here on Serving the Valley.